All right. Hello, hello, everybody. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? I'm waiting to see if you can hear me. I'm waiting. Mm, Who's out there on today? How you doing, Liz, Tammy, and Malai? See you out there. All right. I know y'all didn't expect me to be up here on a holiday, but here we are. How you doing, son? OJ, Liz, Tammy? I see ya. I see ya. I see ya. I'm waiting for one other thing. I pray everybody had. Hey, yeah, that's right, Liz. At followers, at followers. That's how you do it. That's how you do it. At followers will. It only works when you're live. It only works when you're live. So that if you do it when you go back and view it later, it doesn't work. It only works when you are live. All right, you can hear me. You can hear me. I'm glad to hear that. I know that we're ready to go. I'm waiting for one more. I'm waiting for waiting for one more thing to happen. I pray that everybody had a great uh, President's Day. I guess that's what they call it. You didn't, if you work for the government, federal government, you didn't have to work today. If you didn't work for the federal government, it was just another Monday, just another Monday. So it was great. I pray that your Sunday was blessed. I know we had a great time at the Sanctuary Church on Sunday, and I really do appreciate everyone that logged in and those that were present as well. Hello, Troy. I'm still waiting for one more thing to transpire here, and then we'll get started. I apologize. I'm waiting for one more. Had a surprise here. I'm waiting on the surprise to show up. To click on. Uh, Remind everybody that tomorrow is um, not only is it feed the need, but it is also it's the fourth or the third. What is it? Third? Yeah, the third Tuesday. So we're doing diaper giveaway as well on tomorrow. It has been such a blessing. So still thanking God for blessing us with the funds to help us with feed the need. And we're looking for God to do even greater things as this year uh, goes on. Still, just hold on one. Apologies. Diaper giveaway is next Tuesday. It's the fourth Tuesday. I don't know why I always get that confused. It's always the fourth Tuesday. I don't know why I always think it's the third Tuesday. But anyway, it goes. We are here and we are ready. Let me. There we go. That's what I was looking for. Right there, I wanted to add on Dr. May is in the house on today. She's going to help me with our message on today. Let's everybody welcome Dr. May to the scene, to the screen. She's looking bigger than life there. And we're going to talk about, as you can see at the bottom of the screen, we're going to talk about leaders who love well. It's something that we've been talking about for quite a while, about leaders and loving people. But we want, and I'm doing a class called Call to Lead. And we know that people that are on here are leaders or soon to be leaders or aspire to be leaders. I want to allow us to look at this. So we're going to look at Philippians, excuse me, Philippians 2, 3 through 4. And it says, do nothing out of selfish ambition or vain conceit. Rather, in humility, it says, rather than humility, value others above yourself. Value others above yourself. Uh, Not looking to our own interests, but each of you to the interests of the others. So a leader's open-hand relationship to power and commitment to honesty indicates how well he loves. Abraham Lincoln's humility and service disarmed him from lording power over others. Lincoln's presidency was characterized by his empathy rather, and commitment to the unity during the Civil War. He often visited battlefields and hospitals, offering comfort to wounded soldiers, reflecting his deep compassion. Lincoln's leadership was displayed by his belief in humility and service, as he stated, nearly all men can stand adversity, but if you want to test a man's character, give him power. He said, nearly all men can stand adversity, but if you want to test a man's character, give him power. When leaders humbly serve, they break the spell rather, over power by deflating pride and ego. I need to say that again. When leaders humbly serve, they break the spell over power by deflating pride and ego. What is your plan to protect yourself from an unhealthy influence of power so that you can love well? Are Here are some ideas, rather, to prayerfully consider. You can overcome unhealthy influences by the power cultivated by cultivating humility, remembering that leadership is about serving others, not dominating them. I need you to say that again. Leadership is about serving others and not dominating them. Servant leadership prioritizes people over personal gain. Servant leadership prioritizes people over personal gain. Regularly reflect on your motives. Are your decisions for the greater good or self promotion? Share authority and responsibility with those around you so you can grow and take ownership. Ask the Holy Spirit to guide you guide you and your heart and your mind through the truths of the scriptures. So we want to ask you, Dr. May, uh, how do you embrace servant leadership as modeled by Jesus, who washed his disciples' feet? Look at Matthew 20, 26 to 28. So how do you embrace servant leadership as modeled by Jesus, who washed the disciples' feet?
Well, first of all, can you hear me? Are y'all able to hear me?
Your volume is low.
Can you hear me?
It sounds like an echo.
Oh,
You're
goodness.
not on mute, but
Yeah, I don't know why you can't hear me. Let's see here. Are you able to hear me now?
yeah, you had like an echo, so I don't really hear you in the background. Oh, they say they can hear you, so go ahead.
Okay. So I think the first thing we got to remember is that Jesus approached his role as a servant leader. He knew that he was a servant leader. He knew that he had come to lead the people. If we look at Jesus and what he did initially, is that he selected 12 to walk with him. And in those 12, he poured out himself to them that they would be able to lead others. And he did that, first of all, by being an example to those that he had chose, to his disciple. He chose them to walk along with him and watched him as he himself served as a servant leader. as he washed the feet of others, as he loved with the compassion that only God can love with. He gave them an example of what a servant leader truly looks like, walking in humility and not thinking of himself, but thinking of others. I think one of the things that we do or we forget when we become leaders is that we're leading to embrace others, to pour into others that they may serve the people that are assigned under them. So if we're a servant leader and we're leading a group of people, we have to lead with humility. We may be the one, yes, that is ultimately in charge, if we want to use that word. We may have may be the one that has the ultimate responsibility for the outcome, but we have to understand that we are called to serve the people that we're leading. So what that looks like is that we have to come to them in humility and love. There's an old saying where people say people don't care how much you know until they care, see how much you care, or something along that line. But what is basically saying is that your words don't mean anything to me if your action is contradicting what you're doing. So we as leaders have to make sure, or even as humans, even if we're not leading somebody, we're working alongside them. We have to make sure that we're doing that in love. How can I serve you? How can I help you? And when we rob ourselves out of that position or that demeanor, actually we're robbing ourselves of what it actually feels like to serve another. That's where you get your biggest strength, your biggest fulfillment from, because we're no more like Jesus than when we serve. Jesus came not to be served, but to serve. And in his act of serving, others served him in order to help him facilitate what he was called to do, but his heart was always towards serving the people. And he did that in humility. He did that in love. He did that without shaming or destroying people reputation, their egos, or even destroying them as a person. A lot of times we think that in order to get somebody to follow us, we have to show them that we're the biggest and the baddest. If you're a good leader, you don't even want to be the best in your circle. You want somebody that can help you. One of the things that we were told early as we ventured into our roles as pastor was always to staff your weakness. So you want people around you that can help you get the job done. If you're the best in everything in your circle, then that is about your circle is too small. Just because you're the leader doesn't mean you're the answer man. But what it means is that you have a team of people that together you can get the job done.
Wow, thank you. That is so very good. And if I could just kind of culminate that into some words here, it was like loving well means listening, valuing other people's needs, and acting with integrity. Loving well, listening, uh, and valuing other people's needs, and remembering, like she said, you staff your weaknesses. I don't know everything, and I can't possibly know everything, but I do have people that know what I don't know. And I'm not intimidated in the fact that they know what I don't know, because all together we make a great team. So it's when the team win, we all win, because it's teamwork. Together, everyone achieves much. That's team. But I like to say teamwork. Together, everyone a team achieves much with obedience, respect, and kindness. So we need the team to work, but the team don't. If the team doesn't work, the plan doesn't work. So we have to create an environment that rejects the lure of power and focuses on serving. We need to create an environment of trust and unity where love thrives. That's important. If you're a leader, if you didn't hear anything else we say, we must. I'm saying it 3 times. We must create an environment where there's trust and unity, where love thrives. It's important that we do so. And as leaders, commitment to honesty is the second indicator of being able to love well. George Washington highly valued honesty. Washington's leadership was marked by personal sacrifices and dedication to his troops during the American Revolutionary War. He endured the same hardships as his soldiers, notably during the harsh winters at Valley Forge, where he shared in their suffering to boost morale and unity. His humility and willingness to relinquish power after two presidential terms further demonstrated his prioritization of the nation's well-being over personal ambition. Washington once stated this: I hope I shall possess firmness and virtue enough to maintain what I consider the most valuable, the most inevitable of all titles, the character of an honest man. I'm gonna say that again. He said, I hope I shall possess firmness and virtue enough to maintain what I consider the most inevitable of all titles, the man, the character of an honest man or woman, however you want to put that. That's what it is. It's about our character of honesty. We want to be honest and integral. When you're honest and integral, it leads you to love well as a leader. Honesty was truly our founding fathers' base, best policy. Leaders love well, tell the truth. I need you to hear me. I'm going to say that again. Leaders love well, tell the truth. So, Dr. May, back to you again. How do you know, or how do you keep, brother, how do you keep honesty and integrity as a priority in your leadership? How do you do that?
Well, I think number one is that you have to understand why you're leading. I think a lot of times we forget that people already know what we know. They already know that we are not all that we think we are. We are there because they want to walk alongside you. They see your faults. It's a lot of times easier for others to see our faults than for us to see our own. So they chose to follow you. They chose you as their leader. You don't choose them. They chose you to follow you because when Jesus died, he gave us a free will. Even when Jesus gathered his disciples, he told them, follow me and I'll make you fishermen of men. At any time, the disciples could have said, no, I don't want to follow you and went a different way. But these people are following you. They have determined that you are the one that they're going to follow. Don't think that they're doing that because you're the greatest or you know everything or they don't see your faults or that they agree with everything you say or don't say. They're following you hopefully because in you they see a level of integrity that they can trust. With my leaders, I don't look for them to always do everything right because I know that they're not God. And since they're not God, that means that they're not perfect. So they're going to make mistakes. But I'm looking for a heart of honesty, a heart to lead correctly, a heart that when I make a mistake, I'll turn around and I'll go the other way. A heart that when I mess up, I'll be able to admit that I was wrong. A heart that says that I put others before myself. A heart that's willing to humble myself that others will be able to see that in me. One of the characteristics that I look for in a leader is just a simple love. Love covers a multitude of sins. I see you as a person that loves people, that try to help people, that are willing to go out of your way and extend the olive branch, that's willing to walk in humility, that's willing to not be so quick to anger and to walk out all the things that we have learned in Second Corinthians that love is. If I see you walking that out, it's okay to me if you make a mistake. It's okay to me if we have to go back over ground once or twice because I know that you're going to be right there with me. I know that your ultimate goal is to bless the people and to serve and lead the people. So one of the things I think that we have to, the first thing, to go back to answer your question, Bishop, I think the first thing that we have to display is just a spirit of love and humility toward everybody, not just those people that you lead. I watch you and other that I have been my leader, as there were many times that you could have retaliated and snapped back. Many a times when you could have said later for somebody and went on the other way. But the love that God has placed in your heart has caused you to be steadfast. Don't always have to say that you're right. Don't always have to boast yourself up in front of people. Don't be so concerned about yourself, but be concerned about what God has called you to do. And I always tell people, if you've always got to feel like you got to protect yourself, that tells me that you have no trust in God. Because I don't have to protect myself as long as I'm being obedient to God. He's going to protect me. So I think we just have to show the people that we love them. And when you show people you love them, it's almost like I don't know. It's just that thing that causes them to want to go the extra mile, do the extra mile, say the right things. I remember, and I think I've said this once before. I remember when I used to work, and the people above me would always wonder why the people that worked for me were so loyal. And the only thing they knew was control and demand, and having somebody under your thumb. But they were loyal because I cared about them. I cared about their family. I cared about what they were going through. I was there to listen to them. I exhibit love. So when we had to get in the trenches and it was really time to fight, and I didn't have time to say things so gingerly, I've already spent time with them prior to that, so they know my heart. So if they know, if I say get your pack, let's run, they know that they need to get their pack and run. They don't stop to ask me, why am I getting my pack? Is this going to be beneficial to me to get my pack? What should I put in my pack? Because we've already loved on one another. We've already shown that we care for one another, as well as the mission that is there. So we've got to go back to what Jesus displayed when he walked upon the earth, and that was just love for people. He didn't condone them in their sin. He pointed out to them the things that they needed to do, but he did it in love.
Oh, that is such good teaching, such good word. I hope y'all are hearing what's being said on it and shared on today, because we need to understand that you maintain integrity and honesty by committing to transparency and I'm sorry, transparency and accountability in every decision. If anybody knows, I'm very transparent about my life and about everything, and I think that makes a great leader, because what does that do? That shows that you're just as human as they are, and you take accountability for the decisions. If the decision is wrong, you don't throw people under the bus and say, "Oh, I'm the boss, but that was her fault." No, if the decision that was made was not made correctly, then as the leader, then I will take the hit and we'll talk about what we should have done better, or what we could have done better, in order to make sure we don't do this again. But there has to be transparency. You got to be truthful with the people you're leading, and you got to be accountable for the decisions that you make, and not throw people under the bus. And integrity starts with aligning your words and
Mhm.
actions. Say that again.
Mhm.
Integrity starts when you align your words and actions. Because you can say a lot of words, but if your words don't equal your actions, and doing what you say you will do, then people will eventually fall away from you. If your words don't align with your actions, and you don't do what you say you're going to do, you never do what you say you're going to do. You can never be dependent on to be where you're going to be. You can never be dependent on to stand up for your people. You can never be dependent upon to show compassion. Then your words, you can say, I love you all day. I'm a great leader. I love my people. I have integrity. I have all this stuff. But if you don't have action to go to go along with that, then you're a sounding brass and a tinkling cymbal. You have to have your words aligned with your actions. I need somebody to put that down in the chat. My words must align with my actions. My words must align with my actions, because I have to do what I say I'm going to do. And when we look at that also, Dr. May. Let's think about this. How do you set clear values and ensure your decisions reflect them consistently? So how does someone set us? I know people out there want it. So, okay, you're talking, that sounds good. How do I set clear values and how do I ensure my decisions reflect them consistently?
Well, one of the things with being Christian and Christian leaders, the biggest, the most important thing is to make sure that our actions are aligning with the word. You know, we write that thing. Well, what would Jesus do? We've got to make sure that our leadership style lines up with the word. And especially since there are so many leadership books out there, and we can go to school and we can read all these theories about leadership. But if we don't take those things and apply them against the word, what does the word say about leadership? Then we're going to be lost. And I think a lot of time we think secular education, and I'm not against education at all. I think if we really dive deep enough, we'll find out that all our education come back to the word. I remember I had an interview, and me and this other lady went for the same position. We were interviewing for the same position, and when we got done with the interview, she was saying, "Well, that was a hard interview. Didn't you feel like that was a hard interview? I didn't know how to answer the questions." And I said, "No, I answered them according to the word." You know, when they ask you what is your biggest asset when it comes to leadership, it was easy for me. It's people, because God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son for people. So it wasn't money, it wasn't resources, it's people is my biggest asset. So we lead in a way that we're always referring back to what the word says, and we take the leadership principles and things that we learn and use them as the word as a measuring tool of how we apply them. Then we won't get off track. I'll say this, Bishop, one of the things that really makes me tremble a little bit is when I hear people talk about how greater leader they are. And we've got to understand that we don't get to assess our own leadership. Somebody else has to do that for you. There should be people above you that are assessing how well you're doing as a leader. They should be able to talk to you and to point out things to you without you getting offended. They should be able to give you ideas on how to better accomplish things without you getting offended. Then there are people below you, how they respond to you, what they say to you, how they serve is another indicator of your leadership skills. But when we go around saying, "Oh, I'm a good leader, I'm a great leader, I can do this, I can do that," and it's almost like you should be glad and fortunate that I'm your leader, instead of allowing yourself to lead in humility and to let the actions that you do be your sounding board. I so often say that you're not a leader if nobody's following you. And sometimes we think people are following us, but they're following really the mission. So when you take a Marine is a good example. When you get into the Marine Corps, they're not following the leader. They're not following their commander as much as they're following the words or the mission of the Marine Corps. So people buy into the mission, but they don't necessarily buy into you. So don't think that just because people are there, that means they buy into you. No, they're so sold out on the mission that they don't care who's leading. I'm still going to be sold out on the mission. I've been under some terrible leaders before, even in the body of Christ, but I'm sold out to Christ. So I'm going to do Christian, conduct myself in the Christian way, regardless of what my leader do or don't do, because I'm not responsible or giving accountability for them. I'm giving accountability for myself. So just because I was there, don't gauge that as your ability as a good leader. That just means I'm committed to the vision in the case of the church, but the mission in the case of other things. So that I'm going to be there regardless if the leader change. I'm still going to be there because I know that God assigned me there.
Well, this is some good stuff. I hope y'all hear this. This is some good stuff. Uh, we need to understand that you need to surround yourself with advisors, unafraid to speak the truth, offering constructive feedback when needed, and free to ask you, are you sure? We got to take constructive criticism. We can't have thin skin when people. I mean, everybody knows my spiritual father is younger than me, and he has corrected me, he given me criticism, and y'all know how he talk, and he's straight up hood, and he say things to me, and I'm like, oh, but I understand that he's only trying to make me better, and to ask me, do you sure you want to do that? Is that sure you want to the thing you want to say? Are you sure the thing you want? So we have to stay humble admit mistakes, show your team that honesty matters more than perfection. Ooh, I need to say that again. Show the people that work for or you show the team that honesty matters more than perfection. Make time for self-reflection and prayer. That is one of the hardest things for leaders to do, to take self-reflection on themselves, to look at themselves. They're always looking at everybody else's faults, but how about taking some self-reflection on yourself and pray and ask God for wisdom and guidance according to Proverbs 11:3. When you prioritize integrity and honesty, you can build trust, inspire confidence, and create a culture of authenticity and respect. When you prioritize integrity and honesty, you build trust, inspire confidence, and create a culture of authenticity rather, and respect. Leaders who love well are real and relatable to those they serve. You need to hear me.
Mm.
Leaders who love well are real, relatable to those they serve. Oh, I thank you so very much for being with us on the day. I'm gonna pray and close out, but I do want to make one last little comment. Um, Dr. May, doesn't it? I just at the last minute asked her because I felt the Lord leading that we should be on here together this Monday and next Monday. So she was just not volunteer, she was voluntold, but she has done an awesome job of jumping right in there and jumping into the subject matter as only she can with the words that only she has such wisdom and grace about her. I am so thankful that I can be able to do that at the last minute. And she was gracious enough to be on here. And we will be back next Monday with another subject matter to talking again so that we can round out this month of love. Not necessarily going to talk about love, but we are going to round out this month together on this Manifest Monday. So we look forward to seeing you again on next Manifest Monday. So let me just pray. Lord, help us lead with love, selfishly serving others, and putting their needs above our own. Teach us, oh God, humility, kindness, and integrity, so our leadership reflects your grace and compassion. In Jesus' name, amen and amen. All right, once again, it has been a great watching you, looking, having you on. I know that there's a few minutes, seconds feed, so I'm going to hold for a second. And y'all can say goodbye to the awesome and wonderful Dr. May as she leaves us on today. Thank you so much, honey. You did a great job. I appreciate you so very much. And we'll see you again on next Monday. All right. Once again, we're done. Bless you. I'm waiting for the news feed to catch up. I'm looking at my phone so I know when I stop talking, the video stop talking. So I'm going to say, love you, grace and peace be multiplied unto you. And until next Monday, may the Lord bless and keep you. That is my prayer.